You're exactly where you need to be right now. God just keeps giving me confirmation after confirmation that I need to sit down and record this video. So I sit down, I start recording, and you know how sometimes TikTok will put a sound on the top of your video just like accidentally? It was the Sweet Marie sound, and it was like, just because my dreams are different than yours doesn't mean that they're any less valuable or any less important. Don't know the exact words, but you get my drift. I received revelation last night in a dream, and God keeps giving me the same energy in these dreams that I've been having, but I have received no confirmation up until now. One thing that's very prominent is the fact that I'm always giving birth to something. Like, I'm pregnant with something, I'm giving birth to it. This time, it was a little bit different because I actually got to take care of the baby. And let me be so clear, this is not God saying like, oh, you're gonna get pregnant, oh, you're gonna get pregnant. No, this is very symbolic. This time I got to take care of this baby. And this baby was throwing up on me and doing all the things that babies do to be like annoying, but I still loved this baby. I was like, no matter what, I'm not giving up on this baby. I don't care if I have the funds to support this baby. I don't care if I have this to support this baby. I will do everything in my power to uplift this child. And I kept waking up throughout the dream, 3 times to be exact. Also, let me be clear, if I look a little crazy, it's because I was crying before this, because when God gives me dreams like this, where it's like truly like he's giving me revelation and I can finally comprehend it, I always have this crazy emotional release because it confirms not only the now moment, but things that I've been like having trouble with for the past year. So I wake up 3 times throughout this dream. And the reason why I know that this is a revelation from God is because, yes, it coincides with previous dreams that I've been having, but in this dream, it was like I would wake up, I would go do something. Like, one time I got up and went to the bathroom. Another time I got up and like went on my phone. And then another time I got up and like, I don't even remember what I did. I like drank water or something. But regardless of how many times I got up, I would go back to sleep and I would literally wake up at the exact point in the dream that I had left off at. And I can still remember this dream so vividly. I'm not going to get into like the nitty gritty of the dream because it's personal, but the revelation is not just for me. And so I'm going to share it with whoever's on the receiving end of this. So I give birth to this baby. I'm alone in this. Like, I have nobody to support me. I have nobody to help me. I have to take care of this baby, just me and God. And so as I'm taking care of this baby, God is guiding me to take certain steps. And I'm following these steps. And as I'm following these steps, it's like harder and harder to take these steps because all of these people in the world that I'm living in are essentially being like the devil's advocate. Like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. Like, trying to deter me from the things that God's calling me to do. And when I tell you that this is so symbolic of the things that I'm truly experiencing in life, it's like people always have this direction that they want to pursue in their mind, and they want you to pursue it because they want to live vicariously through you. So as you're experiencing this hardship in your external reality, you're also experiencing this hardship from something that you love, that you have to pursue because God is calling you to pursue it. I knew I couldn't get rid of this baby because it's not that simple. I love this baby. I gave birth to this baby. I held that baby in my stomach for 9 months. I know that's a dream, but it's still like symbolic. Like, for example, this, okay? I know that the reason why God gave me this dream is because of the things that I'm doing on social media. Because it's hard. It sucks. People are mean. People are constantly trying to tell you what you should be doing when God's guiding you to do it. And I'm not saying this to be egotistical or to shoot anybody's perspective of me down. Honestly, I pray that whoever receives a word from me, you go and you translate it with God, right? Because the things that I say are not always going to relay to the right people the way that they need to be relayed. There are going to be times where people need to receive the words that I am saying and take it back to God so that they can actually translate what needs to be said to them as an individual, okay? What needs to be said to you as an individual. So the thing that God was teaching me throughout this dream was the importance of following his voice and not giving up on the things that he guides us to do just because people don't want us to see it through. There are so many people who don't believe in me. There are so many people who laugh at me. There are so many people who mock me. There are so many people who tell me that the things that I'm doing are unrighteous. I'm always going to God. And I pray that these same people who are so quick to shoot me down are doing the exact same thing. And I know that they're not. And that's the thing, I can confidently say that because God has given me revelation after revelation to confirm the truth. A lot of people move on their worldly understanding, and I've been so afraid of calling this out because it's scary for me. But God's been putting it on my tongue heavily. Hey girl, you need to call these things out, because a lot of people want to move on their own understanding. They're not leaning on me. They don't have a personal relationship with me. They just have a relationship to this book. And the book is important. Absolutely. But that's not the entirety. Right? What is a book without a relationship? What is a relationship without the confirmation? Balance is key. Right? Because if you have this relationship with God, but if you aren't able to tap into his word, you're never going to receive the confirmation that you've been seeking, because it comes through his word. I cannot tell you how many times God has spoken to me before I even got into the Bible. And I brought it to people who were of the church, right? And these people were like, that is biblical. You were truly speaking to God. God is giving you this revelation. This is in the Bible. And that actually led me to being more curious about the Bible. Although for a while I was like against it. I was like, I don't think I like resonate with this, blah, 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 just because it was written by sinners. And I don't know why I'm even getting into this. I feel like this might be something that I'm going to look back on. Awesome. But for a while I was like, I don't know if I resonate with the Bible because it was written by sinners, but that's the entire point, right? And so as God's giving me this revelation, as I'm a sinner, right, I'm bringing it to people who I trust, who are also in the church. I didn't go to church at the time, but these people are telling me, like, you are truly hearing from God. Like, God is giving you these answers. And if you go to the word, it will always be confirmed. And the more it was confirmed, the more I realized that I needed to get into the word, right? And the same goes for being in the word. If you don't establish a personal relationship with him, you will never truly be able to receive the foundation of the word. You will only be able to read it from your own perspective, and your own perspective will always be rooted in ego. So it's important that you acknowledge the fullness of truth that God has waiting for you, right? God gave me this dream with this baby because I've been afraid. I have been so afraid of speaking the truth that God gives me because I'm embarrassed. A lot of the time I'm embarrassed. A lot of people think that I come on here and I talk about this stuff just because I'm bold. Ugh, I'm about to start crying. People have this idea that boldness comes without fear, when in reality, you have to step into fear with faith. I have not done anything that I've done in this life without fear. I didn't move to South Carolina unafraid. I didn't make this page without being afraid. I didn't post my first video without being afraid. In fact, my first video that I posted on TikTok where I was talking, I literally said, I hate the sound of my voice. I hate the sound of my voice. I hate the sound of my voice. I was literally saying that. Like, I don't like the sound of my voice. I'm kind of nervous to post this. And I ended up actually privating that video because I was so uncomfortable with the way that I sounded. But you know what? God kept leading me to get out of my comfort zone. And not for me, but for him. Right? Because God will not use, we cannot use God to glorify ourselves. He needs to use us to glorify him. And if me putting myself in an uncomfortable position, if me having a baby and that baby being messy and gross and throwing up on me and pooping on me and me having to change their stinky diapers, doing all of this, if me getting on social media means that I'm going to be put on the chopping block and people are going to judge me and call me names or make fun of the way that I speak or try to make me uncomfortable in the revelation that I'm receiving from God because it doesn't sound like it's revelation, if that's the price that I have to pay, what a small price to pay. What a small price to pay. And this goes for anything in life. There are harder battles that I've had to fight, right? This is a really, really small price to pay. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't suck, you know? And I think that it's important to know that God is weeping with you. God is righteously condemning other people. God is righteously angry with you, right? I felt like I was very alone in the way that I was feeling, when in reality, I was never alone. God just works in silence. He doesn't need to be loud. He doesn't need to be loud. There is power in pain. And he's bringing providence to your name. And this is something that you need to realize. You didn't go through the things that you went through in vain, and you're not going through the things that you're going through now in vain. He's calling you to him. He has called you every step of the way, and he will continue to do exactly that. Please know who you serve, who loves you, who is uplifting you, and who will continue to do exactly that. He loves you. He is guiding you. You are exactly where you need to be. There's nothing that you can do to separate yourself from that. Look at the story of Abraham and Sarah.